was surprised and positively surprised with the very good reaction to our report. So I think there's a big chance that the way forward is to create a European covered bond directive, which will ensure that the covered bond brand and the definition of the covered bond product in Europe will remain of high quality for a long time.
It was a clear experiment of transparency into the market, where all the European institutions have explained their point of view. It was a very interesting brainstorming of what are the potential key pillars to be implemented in the European legislation. We see a market consensus, we see an institutional consensus, so the way forward is clearly towards a covered bond framework at the European level, which will facilitate investor transparency and investors' understanding of the product. There is a request from the industry to the European institutions to be very careful to maintain the privileged treatment of covered bonds in all the different legislative packages that we have in the Union, because it's essential for mortgage lenders to use a proper instrument, very high quality, to be implemented in the European legislative framework.
The EBEP report is going in the right direction. There are many good things there. We also talked about whether the new regulation should be, whether there should only be a CRR definition of covered bonds or also something else. And I think my main message was that you should be really careful that you do not create a system where there is only the CRR, and hence risking a situation where if an issuer or perhaps several issuer in the same country is unable to maintain the CRR status, that the bonds suddenly lose all preferential treatment and is suddenly degraded to something that is just senior debt, basically, triggering forced sales and that kind of thing. So really a financial stability argument in a sense.
If you harmonize too much, then you harm innovation. And I think you see there have so many changes, like the soft bullet, the conditional pass-through, the liquidity buffer. And I think you have to be careful, like if you harmonize everything, that banks no longer have an incentive to come up with new ideas. And I think that's something what we need. And also like what we heard from the investor side, they would like also see a little bit more flexibility and having opportunities, and sometimes take also a little bit higher risk and get then also a higher yield. I think that is something what we saw.
One of the biggest challenges that we have is that there are no major problems at the moment. The market environment is far too benign, and it's too easy from an issuer's perspective. On the other side, there are obvious downsides in harmonisation, there are obvious risks, there are obvious costs involved in that. But I think it's very important that we have to overcome that and take a more long-term view, looking at potential future crises, potential future threats to the asset class, and put in place legislative processes that can protect against those. That won't be straightforward. There will be some areas where clearly it has to be done at a national level, but that's not to say there aren't significant benefits from a pan-European harmonised framework.